Welcome back to Exploring Whiskey. Today we have a little Christmas miracle
Yeah,
of sorts.
little special. Little
Yeah.
special treat for 2024.
So going back to New Jersey for the holidays and all that kind of stuff, I had asked Adam and Eric, what should I look for when I'm up there? And Adam's only thing that he came up with uh, was the Bookers, the reserves. And some little,
We like the Bookers.
we do like
We like the
Bookers.
Bookers. We want to like the Bookers.
Yes. Every once in a while, like there's 4 releases a year. Usually one's really good.
Yeah.
When they used to be $70, they were all like, okay, well, who cares? It's $70. I'm totally gonna buy it. Like that's fine.
If I can, every
But
time.
now it's like I think MSRP is $90 or $100.
Yeah, you're looking at
It's just
$100.
Well, some of them are great, and some of them are okay, and some of them are
Yeah.
not spectacular. Booker's decided to do an annual release of slightly older whiskeys. So this is 8-year to 14-year whiskey blended all together
Yes,
of
sir.
some honey barrels that Booker spoke to them. Is the way the way that they spoke, they talked about it, is these are the barrels where you kind of get this odd feeling that Booker is saying this is a good barrel. So if you don't know, Booker used to be a master distiller of Jim Beam. He's a descendant of Jim Beam. We are now on Fred and Freddie No. That sounds right. So Fred and Freddie are both master distillers right now.
Yeah.
But even Freddie No was actually called like Little Book. Fred is the son, Freddie is the grandson.
Okay, that's right.
And Freddie used to be called Little Book, which kind of ties back into the whole Little Book whiskey line.
Right.
This particular one is just, it's barrels that spoke to Fred and Freddie. And their whole thing is like, it felt like Booker was saying, these are the barrels. Pick these guys.
Right.
So again, we blended together some 8-year, some 9-year, some 10-year, and some 14-year-old bourbon to create the reserve of 2024.
They don't say the percentages of.
They don't say the percentages of. Just this is what's in it. But just like Booker's, uncut, unfiltered, we've got the youngest barrel in here is 8 years, 2 months, and 12 days.
12 days.
It is what it is. But 125.9 proof. And
banger proof point right there.
Yeah, solid proof point.
A little bit of brown wax.
Brown wax. Very unique.
Instead of the black wax.
Very unique look to this guy. So I am at my in-laws' house and run to the local old dive liquor store in the town that they live in. But behind you go up to the cash register, and I'm like, what Booker's is that behind the cash register? And he's just like, which one? I was like, they had like some little Christmas ornament in front of it. I was like, right behind the green thing, whatever that is. He's like, oh, reserve? Like, I'll take it.
How much?
I'll take it. Yeah. How much was the first question? I'll take it. All right. So the MSRP for this guy is 130. I spent it was 155. I'm okay with that. Like, again, for where it was, I'm just surprised they even had it. But they did. So I really wanted to grab it, especially since you had said, if you can find this, let's hell yeah, grab it.
Let's go for it.
That was a relatively reasonable price. So I know it's 125.9. So I'm just gonna say 126. I'm not getting a harsh nose. There's not a burn. There's not a aggressiveness. There's not.
It's just delicious barrel notes.
Strong barrel notes and
char.
Like I want to say peanut brittle. There's like a brown sugar, caramely, burnt sugar, something going on in there.
Yeah.
And with a peanut note. Not the cinnamon. I'm not getting a strong cinnamon on the nose at all, but I get
the raw shell or a salted shell.
Just
I hope I get sweetness.
It's peanuts in sugary stuff.
If I get sweetness on the palate, it's going to be... Come on, Bookers.
That opened up nicely. So when we opened this up, we first opened this up to taste it. I was going to say the palate was a little tight. This is opening up really nice.
It's like liquid.
Touch
caramel,
of cinnamon. But there's a
toffee.
touch of like a spice note, a cinnamon spice note, but it's not very strong. But the sweet notes, and not a strong peanut note.
And the mouth coat, no.
Super oily. No question about that. Super oily.
Wow. The nut, it's there, but it's way, it's like
but
a,
it's
like a secondary, tertiary
it's peanut
note.
in.
Yeah.
Again, a caramel, brown sugar. You ever have wet nuts on your ice cream? So it's like peanuts and walnuts, I think it is, like mixed in with like a syrupy stuff that you put it's like on top of the ice cream like a sundae.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
It's wet nuts.
Yeah, it's almost like pralines and cream.
I had a friend of mine, his father just loved ordering ice cream with wet nuts because it just made him giggle. But that's kind of what it reminds me of. There is, and it's not just peanut. It's walnut, almondy. Like there's like a stronger nut note to this.
Sugary.
Sweet though, man, that's really solid.
Gosh, it does not drink 125.
It's not harsh. There's no burn. There's no aggressiveness to it. But that second sip, like a good warmth right down the middle.
Yeah. I
It's
get
like
it
strong
here.
warmth. It's not like a
here
spreading across the chest warmth, but it's a good warmth straight down the middle of my chest. Very, very solid.
This is what I want Bookers to be
Exactly. This is what it should be. Let's see what just a splash. With the amount of oil on this could create magic, or it could really screw some things up. Love the color.
Nose is the same, just a little bit muted. A little bit muted.
A touch more of a salted nut note. A salted mixed nut. It's not peanuts. It's like mixed nuts.
Yeah, it's like walnut.
The fancy nuts. I mean, that's what they're called. When you get a mix of like the ones that include cashews.
There's only a couple peanuts. It's more the other fancy nuts.
Yeah, the fancy nuts.
Yeah, the fatty nuts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Christ. That's good. Dear God, caramel.
It's like this liquid nougat that's just like going down the throat. It's so good.
That opened up so much better.
To be.
That, again, first cracked it. The palate was it wasn't harsh. It was tight. That has opened up so nicely. That couple of drops of water, again, opened it up just a little bit more. The sweetness, the little bit of a baking spice, slight cinnamon note, but nougat, caramel, brown sugars, all these sweet notes coming through. Just a hint of, again, I'm going to say fancy nuts. It's not just peanut. It's not the Bookers that turned into okay, you're either going to get strong like wet peanut or peanut shells or dusty peanut, one of those things.
The shells.
Or it's going to be like cinnamon, super cinnamon for it. Like that's kind of what Bookers got into this weird loop on. This is damn good.
Pralines, like this, just caramel covered, fatty.
Yes, I
walnut,
could go for pralines.
Pecans. Oh, that's great.
Pralines and some kind of a brittle.
Yeah, I don't get like the creamy note, like ice cream. Like no, it's candy.
It's very candied. Right.
Candy nuts. That's what I want from Bookers.
That's it.
And if I gotta wait for 2 of these a year, I'll do it.
Right. Yeah.
Just
if you need to cut back from doing
anymore.
4 to doing 2, okay, I can live with that.
I think everyone could. especially if you released
But when you pop out
twice the amount
4,
of these,
yeah,
you know,
yes,
2 to 3 times the amount of these guys compared to whatever you release for your quarters. I mean, just dial it back.
that's solid. Highly recommend this one. This is, hmm,
Jim Beam did some incredible things
more
this
or
year.
less. Yeah, I mean, so they had a Little Book Infinite.
Yeah, they had the
Infinity.
Path Not Taken. The rye. I know you don't like it, but it was like a rye
Yeah,
experiment.
their Little Book.
It was our first rye
Their
mash
Little
bill.
Book. I didn't care for it, but if you like rye, it's great. I'm sure it's a very good rye, but it's still not
love
the
it.
best Little Book that I've had.
I think it's so good. But they had the Infinite. They came
They had
out with
the
the
Infinite.
Boo Rye.
That Knob Creek Boo
They
Rye
came
was
out with the 10-year
very
rye.
impressive.
They came out with the Toasted Rye. I mean, they came out with so many expressions this year.
Yeah.
The 16-year-old Granddad. The Hardin's Creek collection. The aged, the age
2-year,
stated.
the 10, yeah, they went up to, what, 16 or something?
Yeah, they did like a 10, 14 to 16. Yeah, they did so many things this year. That's awesome.
Yes.
Come on, Beam.
I wonder if that's the influence that Freddie's starting to have now. Because I mean, Freddie just started, like, what, Little Book, that's chapter 8. So he's been a master distiller, I assume, for about 8 years. So he's now got the power and the influence to start to do all this extra experimental stuff, which...
And you'll see what's happening. We'll see what's popping, see what's popular.
Right. And he's out ahead of the curve, which, again, more power to him. I think he's doing some really good stuff.
Yeah.
Smell that again. Do you get a little bit of, like, toasted marshmallow now?
I get toasted, but I get more peanuts now on the nose. But in all the right ways. Like this, like a charred shell, like a blazed.
I get almost somehow a toasted peanut or toasted marshmallow note. That is awesome. Highly recommend it. If you find it for, let's say, I'm going to say if you can find this for under $175, more than likely worth it.
Yeah.
You had the means and all the things, like, but it is a special bottle. Like, this isn't your everyday drinker bottle by any means. This is, you break out on special occasions.
Yeah, it's high proof. It's got some oomph.
It's got oomph.
If you're a Booker's fan, no, there's
Also
no
true.
question. There's no question.
Yes.
Jim Beam fan, no question.
I'm really liking this. This has opened up nicely. I'm super happy. Good recommendation. Glad I stumbled upon it accidentally.
I can't believe and I didn't remember when you texted. Guess what bottle I found? The one you suggested. Oh man, yeah, I haven't seen it in Tennessee at all.
No, I have not. No, not at all.
It's
To
crazy.
find it in some little.
In New Jersey, we live in Tennessee. It's made a couple hours up here.
Yes, right. Yeah, it's very odd. Tennessee's just weird with what we get. Thank you very much for joining us with our review of the Booker's The Reserves. Great bottle. Totally recommend it. If you like reviews like this or content like this, we put out content like this at least, we'll call it at least twice a week. Sometimes a little bit more. Every once in a while we'll do once a week. Always put out at least one a week. Very much would appreciate you liking this video. That helps us with the algorithm, gets it shared with more people. If you want to see all of it, subscribe. We would love you to subscribe to our channel. You can hit the little bell icon. It tells you every time we put something out that's brand new.
Yeah.
We really enjoy our whiskey, and we're going to keep doing this throughout for a while.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for watching.
See you next episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.